Hey everyone, Nicole Steckline, Technical Agronomist for DeKalb and Asgrow in Southeast Iowa. It's spring, it's beautiful, and that's why I'm filming this one outdoors, not indoors. Want to, don't have to. So with it being spring and the soil is drying up really beautifully right now, there's a lot of anhydrous getting applied. And I will always get the question every year, how many days do I need to wait between putting on my anhydrous and planting my seed? So before we get to the answer, I'm going to make you suffer through a little bit of a chemistry lesson. So anhydrous ammonia, anhydrous meaning water loving, and ammonia being this guy right here, NH3. NH3 is kind of a grumpy molecule. It is not happy until it breaks up the marriage between the hydrogen and oxygen with water. So NH3, ammonia, will break up water and steal one of the hydrogens to make itself a happy NH4 ammonium molecule. Now, we like ammonium too because it's a positively charged molecule and it's stable in the soil profile. It's not going to leach. The byproduct of this chemical reaction is hydroxide. So I've got a sad face there, not because it's a bad molecule, but because what it can potentially do to our seed if it comes into too close of a contact with it. So we get our stable NH4 molecule. We like that guy. It's safe for the seed and it's stable, but this hydroxide causes the pH in that zone to become very basic. It elevates it a lot. If we have a very elevated pH in that zone of application, that's when NH3 stops converting to NH4 and it just continues to sit as ammonia. Free ammonia will damage the seed, and that's where we end up having this ammonia burn on the roots. So what are the scenarios where this actually happens? So when we look at anhydrous application, we've got the soil surface right here. You know, typically we're going to sink that knife in at about 6 inches in depth. So we put that ammonia band right here, and it's going to go out in every direction to find the water that it craves to make itself happy. So if we have plenty of moisture in the soil, it doesn't have to travel very far from that 6 inches. But if we're applying in very dry soils, like in many cases we did in, say, 2012, it has to travel much further to find the water that it craves. If it moves too close to the surface, let's say to within about 2 inches of the surface where we're going to be placing our seed, we could end up with elevated pHs and free ammonia where we're going to end up planting our seed. So that's one scenario which would contribute to getting ammonia burn in the seed. Another one, obviously, is if we put that ammonia maybe only at 3 to 4 inches. That means that we can have ample moisture, but it doesn't have to go very far until we're hitting that seed depth. So scenarios I'm thinking where we might put it a little bit too shallow. Let's see here, if maybe we're trying to get things done fast. You know, if I'm wanting to go faster, if I've got warm temperatures so I have good pressure coming out of those hoses, maybe I can push it to 8 or 9 miles an hour. I'm gonna cheat that toolbar a little bit higher. Other scenarios would be point rows. If you're doing a lot of turning around, make sure you've got those knives sunk deep down into the right depth before you flip that switch and get the ammonia pouring in. Another scenario is if we're applying into compacted or wet soils, we sink that knife in, and if we don't have, if we aren't sealing up that furrow very good, we're going to have ammonia traveling to the surface because it's having a tough time going into the soil profile. So these are the main ways in which you're going to end up having ammonia burn. The last one that I can think of usually is if you end up getting into compacted soils. When it's compacted, that toolbar is pulling hard, you're going to cheat it up, and usually you're sealing off on the sides instead of on the top where that knife is going into the soil. So the question, the golden hour, the reason you came to watch this video, how many days do I need to wait between anhydrous application and planting? And it's not about a number of days, it's about how quickly can we get rid of the free ammonia. And that comes down to amount of available moisture and where you've put that band of ammonia. So if we get rain, or if we're applying into moist soils, you're looking at usually about
5 to 7 days.
To be on the safe side. If you're applying into very dry soils at a shallow depth, it's going to take longer. We need enough moisture to neutralize that pH zone so we don't have free ammonia living where we're going to put that seed. So, as always, that's all I have for you today. Call, text, or email with questions.